welcome to Turnaround Talks. Today I've got Chris Cain from Kazzoo IT, and it's great to get Chris because he's got some really good news about what's been happening in his business. And yeah, I'm just going to pass over to Chris. Chris, for the people that don't know you, do you want to just introduce yourself?
My name's Chris Cain. I run an IT support company called Kazzoo. We have recently celebrated our 17th year in business, which is absolutely brilliant. And we are your local outsourced IT support provider. Okay. And we work normally within a radius of about an hour of Leicester.
Okay. Obviously, we were just talking just before we started the recording. And yeah, 17 years, that's amazing, isn't it? So a lot of people would be looking at the current situation, and yeah, a lot of people that have been trading for a long time have had a lot of issues. How have you found it though? What's been happening with your business?
For my business, it's been the first 2 weeks of lockdown were just incredibly busy because everybody wants to work from home. Everybody wanted laptops. The price of IT laptops and stuff just went sky high, and then everything went back to normal. And now everybody's looking at new ways of working, better ways of working for staff. People are enjoying working from home, which they've never really done before. And I think it'll be a way forward.
Yeah, and we were just talking about ways of working because it's hard, isn't it? When you're at home, it's a different way of work and it's a different challenge of work. And it's, do you feel busy? Do you feel that you're doing enough? You know, and it's just getting that balance right, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm working in the office at the moment, but I was working at home, and what I'd do is set myself little deadlines in the day. So I'd have an hour of, let's say, marketing in the day and plan it in. I'd also get dressed to go to work. So I'd put my shirt on and I'd put my trousers on. I wouldn't turn up in my little work office with my jeans or shorts on and a t-shirt. It's preparing yourself in that mindset to actually work.
Yeah. And again, we were talking about perhaps beating yourself up a bit on the challenges and setting your goals and everything. So how have you found that during this period?
I've been getting more stuff done in a nice way, working on the business more, but setting yourself targets, as you said, you set yourself a targets, and sometimes you just think, I've got this time, this whole lot of allotted time, and I've not completed everything. Why not? Because still the day-to-day stuff of work is still there, although you have got all the time. You're just working in a slightly different way. So yes, I have beat myself up when I've not completed deadlines I've set myself, but have I set myself harder deadlines because I think I've got more time?
Yeah, and you've changed, haven't you? You've changed the style of your working there. You've started doing different things, starting contacting your customers in a slightly different way.
Yeah, so I do a 2-weekly email to all of my clients now, just for a hello, hi, how are you? No sales, no anything like that. It's just, I want them to know I'm here. So we do that every bi-weekly on a Friday. We have just put in, we sent an email yesterday to say, if anybody wants a virtual call like this, we will put that in the diary for every quarter. So we just want to be more front-facing, but front-facing virtually, because I don't think everybody's going to look at their time differently now. So instead of travelling, say, an hour to Nottingham, you could have the meeting in the hour and you're more productive because you've just saved 2 hours of your day in travelling. So that's 2 more meetings you could put in.
Yeah. And how have you found your business community? How have you found that they've responded to different ways of working?
My business community, some of the older generation have found it a bit troublesome, to be honest, because they're used to the way that they work, but a lot of them are coming on board, and a lot of people, once they're actually using it, are finding it a lot better. And they've said, why haven't we done this before? And some, there are technology changes that have happened, like you couldn't have done this 5 years ago because the internet speed wasn't there, but now everybody's got fast internet. It just works. It's a really good way of working and communicating.
Yeah, often in business, it's weird how things get accelerated, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's like I say, change is good, and sometimes businesses put off change because there's a fear of what change will do and how it will impact you. Obviously, Corona, nobody had a choice. They had to change. The brakes were put on and change. On hindsight, do you actually think that your business is stronger now with the change that was forced upon you? And do you feel that businesses now will be stronger with the change that's been forced upon them?
I think businesses will look at their IT strategy a lot closer now. So people try to think that IT is an expense. It's not an expense. It can help you develop and make your business function better if you put it in correctly and if you have the right conversations about what you're trying to achieve. So a lot of people now will want to achieve working from home or working remotely and not everybody being in the office all the time, even if it's split teams. This is just a way of life, I think it's going to be, and it is for the better.
No.
Some people have got small families and stuff like that and they need to be at home. Well, they can still work this way.
Yeah, obviously my background was IT, and it's something that I get very passionate with, and I share it with you, but also something now that I do work closely with is work-life balance and leaders having a way of letting go. And when we talk about letting go, technology is such a tool to be able to do that, isn't it? And then still to have control over the business.
Yeah, it is. Well, if you look at the iPhone, I mean, when the iPhone first came out, it was just a music device that you could make calls on. With that, and everybody does the shopping on it, their emails on it, their contacts are on it. Could you live without your phone for 2 weeks? With how everyone communicates.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I wonder if it will get is, can you survive without Zoom? Or can you survive without, the tools now that we're working? It'll be interesting to see when we do look back in a year or so's time, what technology is pushed so forward that it becomes a norm.
Yeah, well, doesn't everybody wish they had shares in Zoom 2 months ago?
Absolutely, absolutely. Certainly changed the way people have been working, hasn't it? So if you were to apply hindsight, what would you, if you hadn't have had this forced on, is there something that you really wish you'd have done earlier other than invest in Zoom?
Invest in Zoom. Maybe like I say, Microsoft have released Teams, or Teams has been out for a while. It's it's the new sort of Skype, and it's not very well known at the moment. But it's a great tool. It is similar to Zoom, but it's a great tool in sharing files, sharing stuff with your team, meetings like this, recording, as I say, sharing screens, and just developing that way of work more. And the remote working. Yeah, as I say, I prefer to be on site and face-to-face with my clients, but I can work remotely. I just have chosen in the past not to. At least now, people can actually embrace that you can work remotely and you're not losing any of that face-to-face contact. You can still physically do the job, although you're not in the office.
Yeah.
And it's the sharing of data. It's so easy as well. People will go, I click this button and I've got all my documents. Instead of writing them, sending them in the post, or even emailing them, people can have it instantly. And people like to do things quickly.
No, exactly. And again, it's just embracing a different style of working, isn't it? And then allowing the tools around you to make your life easier. Something that I wanted to speak to you about anyway is all the work that you do for charity and how you bring the business community together. Would you like to share your recent campaign that you've been?
So my recent campaign, I was unfortunate. I've had to cancel a couple of the charity events that I put on during the year because of this virus, and I can't physically have people in close proximity of each other. So what I've recently done is reached out to all my clients, and I do a yearly calendar for them anyway. And what I've said is I want to do a little, we'll call it a sponsorship or advertisement in the bottom corner. And I sent it out to my clients earlier in the year, and even more so just now. So we had 12 spaces for people to join in with us. And we sold the spaces literally within 3 or 4 hours yesterday. And it's not a lot of money, but the charities have got no income at the moment from corporates or anything else. It's gone because nobody can do events. So it was speaking to people that I work with and say, how can we bring something back? Even if it's only a couple of £100, it's a couple of £100 I've not got at the minute. So yeah, the idea was to raise £600. and we've done it. So I'm really, really happy about that.
Yeah, and even people's generosity, it's still there, isn't it? Even
it is, and we're not trying to ask them for thousands and thousands of pounds at all. That's not it. But it's trying to get people involved and raise that awareness as well, that there are other people around who are worse off, and charities that are really trying to get funds in. And it's just a little way of helping them all. And it brings everybody together. And everybody, when you say the feel-good factor, everybody's so passionate about, I've done this and I feel so good in myself because I've been able to help.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing as well, is even though we've been isolated, the business community, it's still so close, isn't it? It's great to be able to just get on and talk to people, and that doesn't seem to have faded much.
I think that's probably got even closer because everybody's ringing each other more. Everybody has got that little bit more time to speak to people. You're bouncing ideas off each other more. In a nice way, you're sharing contacts a little bit more. Everybody's just so willing to speak to you. I mean, I've spoken to some directors of businesses who I probably never ever get a chance to speak to before because I've not got the time, and now they're really willing to take my calls.
Yeah, and I think that's a good message to everybody, isn't it? Just pick up the phone and then make that call, because so many people don't, and it's the opportunities now that potentially they're missing out of from not doing that.
Yeah, because when all of this lockdown is slightly less and people are getting out there and back to work properly, they're going to remember you because you've wanted to contact them.
Yeah, and your newsletters, have you felt that's engaged a lot more of your businesses by you reaching out?
Yeah, the newsletter goes out once a quarter, and it's only a little newsletter. But again, I'm trying to encourage businesses and the people that I work with to work with the people I work with, because then you've got the good reputation, and they like it because again, there's feel-good stories in there.
No, absolutely. And just finally, we're just about to wrap up, but for you personally, what is your biggest take from the last 2 months? What have you gained most from this?
I've enjoyed working with, or enjoyed embracing the change of my clients as well. So more regular contact, them knowing that you're still a priority in their business life, that you're there for them, they've got a problem, you're still wanting to help, you're wanting to change, speaking to different members of the staff. It brings everybody a lot closer together, I believe.
No, it certainly has. In a weird way, it has, hasn't it? You know, sometimes out of every adversity, there's always things, there's always positives to look for. You know, often there's negatives, often positives as well. They both often go hand in hand. So thank you, Chris. It's been great to speak to you, and good luck with the next 17 years. It'll be interesting to see what happens and how your landscape changes for you. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.